Toastmasters Club Bangalore. The theme for today is yoga, face yoga. You don't have to have a poker face in Toastmasters meeting. Our club's mission is to provide a supportive, positive, and learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Toastmasters have helped people from diverse backgrounds to become more confident communicators and leaders. I request you all to uphold the cardinal principle of every Toastmasters meeting. Keep your audio microphone muted at all times, except when you are invited to speak. Keep your video on at all times, unless you're moving in and out of meeting. As an encouragement to every role takers and speakers, make sure to applaud them virtually. Role takers and speakers will consciously refrain from expressing their views on sex, politics, and religion to ensure the sentiment of audience are not hurt. It is my pleasure to introduce you to an energetic, sincere, and dedicated Toastmaster who is an active consulting engineer for civic and electromagnetic plants and master in specialized design of civil structure. He served 2 nations in his career spanning over 42 years of service. Please join me in welcoming our club president, Toastmaster Joseph Benedict.
Thank you, Toastmaster Milanji, DTM Milanji, for your introduction. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope everybody is doing well in this pandemic season, taking care of your health also. Today, I acknowledge the presence of our area director, Toastmaster Rajesh. Ladies and gentlemen, faith, hope, and love. Of the 3, the greatest is love, as the scripture says. How many of you believe the beautiful creation of God Almighty? You have the whole planet, the whole mountains, rivers, and everything are looking very beautiful. Which is the most beautiful? Can anybody answer my question? The creation of God, which is the most beautiful? I don't hear from anybody. Well, I will tell you. Go and look at your face in the mirror. You are the most beautiful creation of God. Because any inanimate object does not express love. It is a human being. The heart is the symbol of love. On the earth, the inanimate object doesn't have heart. At the same time, humanity has a special gift of God on this planet to live and enjoy the life pleasing to God. We have been seen in decades before the joint family enjoying the life, supporting each other, fear no theft, no attacks, and they are all well off in their lives, enjoying with great children, grandchildren, and even great-grandchildren. But after this millennium, people, it is like a digital age, they digitalized and became a satellite family. what happened? No safety, always fear, always tension. Working with partners, both of them are working, not able to control the children. So many things interfere in the normal life of a family. Now what happens? In this course of such a situation, do parents love the children or vice versa? Sometimes yes, sometimes no, depending on the circumstances, depending on the situations. Therefore, we always feel uncertainty in our lives. Always tension prevails between the parents and the children to the parents. How, in order to evaluate the best possible way a family should live is to express love. In the quote of Charlie Chaplin once said, you need more power only when you want to do something harmful. Otherwise, love is enough to control everything. Everything can be done with love. So that is what has to implement in a family. Children should understand that parents, as of late, there is a lot of wide difference in their understanding, and the society also interferes in our family life. This is where the calamity starts. So the misunderstanding starts, the habits differs, love also is trying to go lower and lower. But remember, parents are always the best experienced persons to give you a mentorship. One has to always take a suggestion from their own parents to live a good life. So few of the things that I would like to share with you about the parents with respect, what is the perspective view of the parents to the children. One who loves till she closes her eyes is the mother. One who loves without an expression in the eyes is a father. Mother introduced you to the world, father introduced the world to you. Mother gives you life, father gives you living. Mother makes sure you are not starving. Father makes sure you know the value of starving. Mother personifies care. Father personifies responsibility. Mother protects you from fall. Father teaches you from fall. Protects to get up from the fall. Mother teaches you walking. Father teaches you walk of life. Mother teaches you from her own experiences. Father teaches you to learn from your own experiences. Mother reflects ideology. Father reflects reality. Mother love is known to you since birth. Father love is known to you when you became a father. Enjoy what your father says. Keep loving your mother. Now it's a time to have in the midst of us the joke master. Our young joke master is an entrepreneur with specialty in insurance, having an experience of 18 years in the industry. He will be the joke master to entertain every one of you. Please welcome our joke master, Toastmaster Suraj. Over to you, Toastmaster Suraj.
Joseph, sir, Suraj isn't here just yet. He's not there in the room right now, so we can probably proceed to the next segment in that case, because there's no other choice at this point.
Okay, then in that case, I will continue with Toastmaster of the day. Our Toastmaster of the day is a very talented lady who has various degrees in her educational attainment. She trained as a Montessori teacher. She is a yoga trainer. She is also a Ayurvedic medical practitioner also. And she is also well in culinary art, trying to prepare food for her lifestyle. She's amazing. She's a super mother, having all these to doctor at any time of her qualities, yoga, training, Montessori, and preparation of good, healthy food. Why you need a doctor at all? Super mother like that. So let us invite our only one Toastmaster, Sushma. Over to you. Please join in welcoming her. Over to you, Toastmaster Sushma. I think Toastmaster, you are muted.
Sir. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and honored guests. Hope you all are safe and healthy from wherever you are joining. We all perform exercise, any form of exercise, in order to keep ourselves healthy and fit. We ignore face. In the sense, it's not our fault. We were not told by anybody that we have to do exercise every day for face also. I have been practicing some or the other form exercise for the past 23 years, but I have not done exercise for my face. Neither my gym instructor has told me to do exercise. Face. When we do exercise, it results in our muscles are toned, relaxed, stress-free, and optimizes our energy levels. Similarly, when we do exercise for our face, we can achieve same results. Beyond that, our face can be free from many things like under eye circles and forehead lines, smiling lines, double chin and broader face and short features. It leads to short features. So what is the reason why we need to do exercise for our face also? There are two reasons. As we age, our bones lose density, and gravity force, another one is, which is pulling everything down, like our belly muscles and our facial muscles. What happens over a period of time if you don't take care of these facial with the face exercises? What happens? It looks sagging down. Then your nose will be, it seems to be, it appears bigger. That is the reason we need to take care of our face, which should be which leads to stress-free and glowing skin. Basically, it delays the aging process. So what happens? And the cartilage is a myth that it never stops growing, which is the reason for our nose slightly appears big with the age. I mean, ears and our nose. When you see the picture of your parents when they are at 30, 40, and when you compare with the 60, 70 picture, there will be a slight test change will be there in the size of the nose. With these facial exercises, face yoga, we can inhibit that and we can rebuild the volume and boost collagen. These days, collagen supplements are very, very expensive. So what we can do, I would like to show a few simple exercise which you can do sitting on your chair. When you are not on a call, you can do. The one which I'm going to show is you can do with water or without water also. If you have a practice of drinking water every day, like you can so this is the exercise. 10 seconds, fill your mouth with water and keep 10 seconds. And another exercise is this is also for 10 seconds, 3 reps. Then you take the water, little water. So 10 seconds, these also can be done, 3 reps. Then another simple and very effective exercise is like tapping. We all are aware when we tap, when we clap our hands in yoga, it is very well known. When we clap our hands at least for 50, 100 times, it regenerates and all the nerves in the body and optimizes our energy levels. Similarly, when we tap with our fingers here, entire face, just tapping very gently all over your cheeks, it helps in reducing our jawline and double chin also. And with the forehead, on the forehead also, just tapping all over the face. Then very simple, it sounds very simple, yet effective exercise is fish pose. You can just so this is a very simple exercise. There are more than 500, 600 exercises are there, which helps in reducing our wrinkles and increases the face glow. Let us get into the important segment of our, I would be showing few more exercises also. Please stay till the end of the session. Let's get into the important segment of our session. For the benefit of the audience, what is Toastmasters? Toastmasters is a non-profit educational organization which operates 16,200 plus clubs across the world. Founded by Ralph C. Smedley on October 22nd, 1924 at the YMCA in Santa Ana, California, United States of America, with the purpose of promoting communication, public speaking, and leadership skills. If you are anxious about public speaking or fear, Toastmasters is the right place, and above all, it's a positive environment. The entire meeting has 3 segments. The first one is prepared speeches, wherein our members are prepared in advance to deliver speeches based on the objectives of their pathways. Moving on to second segment, table topics, which is an interesting and impromptu speaking, wherein the topic is given to you by table topics master. You need to organize your thoughts spontaneously and respond to a given topic. More information would be given to you by table topics master. The third segment is evaluation, which is headed by general evaluator. It comprises reports by individual evaluator and a tag team listener. Now it's time to introduce our general evaluator. Our general evaluator for today is Toastmaster Bidu. Toastmaster Bidu, who is joining from Delhi, is a sports management professional looking at the corporate affairs in Baichung Bhutia football schools, and a cinephile marathon runner who often enjoys trips with friends. Since he is a cinephile, he shows a lot of creativity in creating our posters. Please join me welcoming our general evaluator for today, Toastmaster Bidu. Over to you, Toastmaster Bidu.
Today is Friday, almost the end of the week, and for most people with a fairly desk job like me, there are rising signs of neck cramps, sore eyes, and puffy cheeks. We have spent close to 8 hours in front of screen from Monday till now. So this meeting with the theme of face yoga is very exciting for me, and I'm sure for all the members as well. Personally, I have taken a selfie of my nose and I'm going to track it till I reach 60 years. It is really scary to know that our nose keeps growing. General Evaluator. As the title suggests, my role is to oversee the proceedings of the meeting and give a generic feedback at the end. I would keep a keen eye on each role taker. The areas where they excel, I would highlight, and the areas where there is scope of further improvement, I would also mention. To assist me in my role, I have a team of evaluators and the tag team. For prepared speech, we will have a team of evaluators who will be evaluating their respective target speakers. And we also have a tag team. Tag implies timer, R counter, grammarian, and furthermore, we also have a listener today. For the benefit of all the members, I would now like to invite the tag team one by one to explain the roles to everyone. I'll start with our timer. May I request Toastmasters Anand, who is the timer for today, to elaborate on his role, please. Toastmasters Anand.
Sure. Thank you, G. As a timer, I will be timing, greetings Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using the green, yellow and red cards, which denote specific time remainings. And I'll also time the other segments as well throughout the meeting, just to make sure that we are sticking to the schedule. So for table topic speakers, the time slot is 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise the green card. At 1 minute, 30 seconds, I will raise the yellow card. And at 2 minutes, I will raise the red card. I will show the red cards after this. For giving speeches, the time limit is about 5 to 7 minutes. At 5 minutes, I will raise the green card. At 6 minutes, I will raise the yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise the red card. And for evaluators, it's up to 2 to 3 minutes. Again, at 2 minutes, I will raise the green. At 2.3, I will raise the yellow card. And at 3 minutes, I will raise the red card. So if you can see my screen, I'll just turn off my camera so that it's easily visible. So here is the green card, here is the yellow card, and here is the red card. And I got a special request from Adarsh to use this card for the end of table topic session as well. And once I am called upon, I will share the results. Thank you. Over to you, G.
Thank you, Toastmasters Adarsh, for explaining us so clearly. Now, may I request Toastmasters Priyanka, who is playing the role of grammarian today, to explain her role, please. Toastmasters Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bidu. General Evaluator for today's session. I am the grammarian for this meeting, and I'll be noting down the good usages of English and the not so good usages of English in today's meeting. I'll be highlighting it at the end of the meeting, but more importantly, I'll be giving you a word of the day and the phrase of the day to play around in your speeches and in your sessions. So the word of the day is poker face. It means a face, an inscrutable face that shows no hint of any emotion. As the Sergeant at Arms, distinguished Toastmaster Millen started the meeting, he said, "You don't need to have a poker face when you're in Toastmasters. Be expressive," right? The next phrase of the day is have the face too. It means to have the will to do something bold or rude or impudent. An example of the usage would be, wow, I cannot believe that that intern had the face to ask for a raise on the very first day. At the end of the meeting, in the evaluation section, when the general evaluator calls me from the grammarian's report, I'll be mentioning which Toastmasters have used the word of the day and the phrase of the day, and the not so good usages and the good usages of English in the meeting today. That's all from the grammarian today. Over to the general evaluator, Toastmaster Bidu.
Thank you, Toastmasters Priyanka. Poker face is a very interesting choice of word, Toastmasters Priyanka. Let's see if the speakers can use it in their speeches. Speakers, if you fail to use the word poker face in your speeches, Toastmasters Priyanka is certainly going to keep a poker face in the entire meeting. No, she is not. She already broke it. Now I would like to invite Toastmasters Pulkit, who would be playing the R counter for today. I don't see Toastmasters Pulkit right now, so I have to request someone to volunteer for this role who is accustomed to playing R counters in the respective Toastmasters clubs. Is there any volunteer for R counter? They can just raise their hands. No, so we don't have any volunteers for R counter. So what I would do is I would try to do it myself. So R counter essentially is to ensure that for all those speakers that don't use crutch words like unnecessary pauses. So at the end of your speeches, when the tag team is called upon alongside the grammarian, I would also report the people who have used any crutch words, and also try to give you points for improvement. So now moving on to our final role taker in the tag team. It's the role of a listener. And to do this, we have Toastmasters Subranjali. I request Toastmasters Subranjali to come and elaborate on their role.
Thanks, General Evaluator. Good evening once again to everyone. My role as a listener is to listen attentively to everyone's speeches, to TMOD, to all the table topic speakers, and ask later questions related to that. As it is said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. And the reason being, listening is more important than speaking. Thus, I request everyone to please listen attentively to whole meeting, and I will come back again when I will be called upon by the General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Subranjali. I call upon our Toastmasters of the day, Sushma, to take this forward.
Thank you, Bidu. Now it's time for our formal speeches. Before I invite our first speaker, I would like to share one more small exercise, which you can do without any moisturizer or aroma oil. Again, which is for cheeks, double chin, and for the jawline, it is wow. Just say wow for 10 seconds for 3 reps. Wow. Wow. So yes, this is the one. And before I invite first speaker, may I call upon the evaluator, our second, just a minute. One minute. Before inviting our first speaker, may I call upon the evaluator Toastmaster Mayu to explain the guidelines, purpose and objective of the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Mayu.
Thank you so much, Sushma, for inviting me. Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests. So the speaker is attempting his level 2 project 1 repeat speech from innovative planning pathway, and the purpose of the speech is the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech, which she is going to deliver. The purpose of this speech is for the member to demonstrate that he or she has applied the feedback received from his or her first speech. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mayur. Good evening, every Toastmaster and guest. The title I'm presenting today is Art of Storytelling. In our information-saturated age, business leaders won't be heard unless they are telling stories, says Nick Morgan. Facts and figures and all the rational things that we think are important in the business world actually don't stick in our mind because they don't have they don't create sticky memories. Sticky memories are really being created by the emotions and things happens in a sequence. So storytelling in the right way, in the right sequence becomes very essential for any kind of successful communication. Have you ever assessed the conversations you are having day in, day out with your colleagues and your family members? How many of them are really creating impact in you, and you are able to recollect what you have been conversing with those folks? By looking into the other part of it, have you ever wondered why some of the conversations or real critical communications you are keeping it with really not creating an impact or sticking to your mind. Have you ever wondered what could be the reason why these conversations are not really being sticking, right? There could be the reasons like the context what they are trying to convey is not really been coming out on the conversations, or there is no visualization or picturization effort coming through that because you couldn't even picturize the context and content what they are trying to convey. And there could be a flow of events which they can bring it in such a way that maybe broken in it's not interconnected, or there is no conclusion at all. That story goes on in a loop and you or maybe it's an ongoing story. You are not getting out of what is the moral and how they are trying to conclude. That may not really be sticking in your mind, right? So to overcome all these things, and you also need to take the advantage of making an impact with others, try to learn the art of storytelling and the semantics of storytelling so that you will be able to make the impact. To make any communication successful, let's follow the basic structure of storytelling, which starts with setting up the stage, time, and location of a story. It's an easy opener for any of the story. You can find this strategy in all storybooks also. For an example, let me share a fictitious story. It's the story of Ram, who is having a weight loss program. I mean, who is trying to lose his weight. 10 years ago, Ram was in Bangalore. He was a bachelor. He was weighing about 108 kg. And after his office, he had plenty of free time, but then he tried as much as possible to kill that time by going to movies and other things. By stating this, I am making people frame an image of Ram, and he is like 10 years younger than now, maybe around 25, and 108 kg looks to be like a very fatty guy. He is also an office going bachelor, right? So it gives you opportunity to relate yourself or your relatives or your friends who was looking like a Ram, then take you to Bangalore kind of a city location so that you will be able to relate it immediately, picturize it, visualize it, and then try to follow the story. And let me take the next step is to look after the content, how you are trying to present and deliver it. And it should always be centered around the context of the story, that is the weight loss of Ram. So there, what to avoid here is to look at unnecessary roles or people intruding in this story, maybe like parents of Ram or old school friends or his colleagues or some kind of office worker coming in, and movie names or all these things which, maybe if it is totally irrelevant, we can skip it, right? And when it is not required to create unnecessary branches in our story, we can avoid creating those branches. I can bring in an example of a movie where there were unnecessary branches and tried to bring in to relate everything. There is a movie named Mersal in Tamil. I'm sorry, I apologize if some of you couldn't make it. Let me tell the story in a simple way. The actor is getting arrested. That is the opener of the story. Then the near time history is that why he got arrested. The reason was being depicted. And in the middle of that itself, there is a fallback because they were trying to talk about his father and how, what was his history. Like it was a very old history. It's all, brought in a loop, which really confused maybe people like me who are like traditional follower of this story and screenplays. And it could have been the case for 90% of people. So there could be a sequencing based on event and time when that event had happened. Maybe started with the father and then his sons, what was the problem statement and how that has been solved. Okay, so that is one. To going back to the story, Ram had a neighbor who was a gym trainer. Watching Ram doing all lazy things, the trainer thought Ram would be the best person for him to prove to his trainer, gym owner, as he is the best trainer. So he made fun and bullied Ram enough to an extent that Ram agreed to join gym and get trained through him. The last step is to conclude the story with a moral so that people remember not only the story and also who said the story behind that, right? So you also want to attach your face with that person, create an impact. To conclude this, after 2 years of regular training, gym training, Ram lost nearly 25 kgs and he was awarded Mr. Bangalore in 2014 contest. This is just made Ram realize that bullies taken positively can shape not just his body, but also his personality. So the moral has been finally been concluded in such a way that take bullies in a positive way and make the positive impact over that. Going forward, before you start any conversation, you ask yourself, do I have the context and content to sequence it? Do I have the right audience to listen to this story? And can my audience follow the entire flow and travel along with me, picturizing the story? And my conclusion can really impress my audience. And last but not least, don't keep a poker face while sharing a story. Try to adjust your voice modulation and have smiles when it is required. All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster. Back to you, Mayur.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shanti, for such a wonderful speech. And it was really, give a big round of applause to Toastmaster Shanti. You have left an impact and for letting us know the structure and content, how the story has to be delivered and interpreted and leave an impact on audience. Thank you for that. Now moving on to the second speaker. Before inviting our second speaker, may I call upon the evaluator Toastmaster Shubhadeep to explain the guidelines, purpose and the objective of the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Shubhadeep. Toastmaster Shubhadeep.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Are you
Yeah.
there?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, just give me one moment. Yeah. So the speech today will be delivered by Toastmaster Joseph Felix Benedict, and this is from the Pathway Module Dynamic Leadership. It's level 4, project 1, manage project successfully. And this is, note, this is the first speech. So for the timer, the timing is going to be 3 to 4 minutes. For the speaker, the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfilling the plan with the help of his or her team. The purpose of this first speech is for the member to give a short overview of the plan for his or her project. With that being said, all the best to the speaker and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shubhadeep. Before I invite our second speaker, I would like to share one more exercise. We don't want our nose to grow with the age. So what we can do is every day, just place your both index fingers on here, the T area of our nose, then keep it for 5 seconds, 10 seconds, then moving on to the middle of the nose and keep there for 10 more seconds. Then after finishing 10 seconds, come to the end of the nose, then keep it for 10 seconds, 3 reps every day. So we can avoid that nose growing with the age. Now I invite our second speaker, Toastmaster Joseph Felix, who is our current president and a passionate Toastmaster who has not missed any session, was an active consulting engineer for civil and electromechanical plants with masters in special designs, served 2 nations in 42 years of service, that is India and Saudi. Accomplishments are numerous during his tenure. When it comes to hobbies, cooking, listening to music, enjoying time with grandchildren. I should mention this. His hobby was to play lawn tennis, billiard, table tennis with colleagues and friends, working in the civil engineering projects in Saudi Arabia, where he worked for 30 long years. Speaker would be presenting L4P1 from Presentation Mastery. Please join me welcoming Toastmaster Felix Benedict. His speech title, One Motto, Toastmaster Joseph Felix Benedict. Over to you, Toastmaster Joseph Felix Benedict. Sir.
You're not audible. Sir, unmute yourself.
Am I audible now?
Yes, please go ahead.
Having got the project for the management, I just wanted to give you a brief overview of the project's execution. The first and foremost thing is that I have already visited the site with my specialized engineers, and at the same time, I have planned the overall view, briefly explained to you. On the conceptual plan, the steel structure is of partly concrete as well as partly steel, and the flooring of concrete. And this plan will only go for assembly rather than any manufacturing unit. So in this way, the cost of the project would be around 200 crores.
Joseph sir, can you mute one of your speaker because your voice is coming twice and it's echoing. Thank you.
Okay. So the plant has the cost of 200 crores.
Now you go on mute on both the devices. Yes, you are audible. You can continue.
With the team of engineers, am I audible now? Hello?
Yes, you are audible.
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
Again, you kept yourself on mute.
Now
Yeah,
it's
just
okay?
now you are audible. Don't do anything. Just do your speech.
Okay. Should I start the speech once again to be have a?
Yeah, it's up to TM. What's TM would you suggest?
Sir, you can continue, sir.
Okay. So with the team of engineers who are specialized in various subjects like electrical, mechanical, and instrumentation, as well as the safety. The proposal for this 200 crore project, I have made it up in such a way that all the areas that we have visited are completely under the security system. And we are going to establish what is known as the infrastructure for construction of this project. We need to have what is known as the special storage where material procured will be stored, and also refrigeration will be done in order to have a specialized material that has to be under the certain temperature and condition. We also have a storage yard where the machineries as well as the materials of construction will be stored. Secondly, all the machineries and other things that which we have to be used for our construction site is also stored in the yard. And secondly, all the people who have to have a certain camp facilities, we need to have construct a camp where the kitchen and dining facilities in Also the entertainment for the entire workers, or which is compulsory as per the law. Further, what we try to do is that the client has to approve all the material. Therefore, we will have to submit all the proposals so that the stakeholders as well as the client, including the consultant, have to approve the material and see that the procurement is completely completed on time. The other part is that the deliverables, we have to have a project schedule, and the project schedule will be followed accordingly. And according to that one, we will also have what is known as the milestones that has to be done, and also the deliverables that has to be received. And the other important thing is that the meetings has to be taken place every weekly or monthly as the client requires. And the progress will be followed up in due course of time by giving them where are the difficulties that we have to resolve. And if there is anything material problems, we will also highlight to the client what are the material that is has to be imported. The third thing is that we ensure that the project is timely completion and see that we do not have any sort of faults or defaults that has to be corrected, and at the same time, timely completion of the project will give us a benefit of what is known as the time as well as the money. So in this way, I have proposed the overall plan for this one, and I hope that I would be able to execute on time so that the project is completed. I will not show any poker face if the project is not completed. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Joseph, sir. It was informative. Give a big round of applause to Joseph, sir. Wonderfully explaining the procurement and the storage of the material, what care needs to be taken in order to function smoothly to execute the project. Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph. Now it's time to invite our third speaker. Before I invite our third speaker, may I call upon the evaluator, Toastmaster Pratik, to explain the guidelines, purpose and objective of the speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Pratik. Toastmaster Pratik.
It seems Toastmaster Pratik is having a hard time unmuting himself. So
Is anyone to take up that volunteer? Adarsh, would you like to take up? Would you like to volunteer that?
Toastmaster Pratik is here. Just a minute. Toastmaster Pratik is here.
Yeah, fine.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear, but I'll go ahead with maybe my Bluetooth setting, but I'll read the objective.
Yes, Pratik, please go.
Please give me a moment.
But
Yeah,
if you are
yeah,
you able to hear us?
Yes, it's fine. Just some setting issue. I have corrected it. Thank you so much. Today, the speaker is delivering the speech on Introduction to Toastmasters Mentoring. Timer, please note the speech length is for 5 to 7 minutes. The purpose statements. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of previous experience as a prodigy. All the best to the speaker.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratik. Now it's time to invite our third speaker, Toastmaster Deepa Sampath Kumar, who was our past president and a passionate Toastmaster. this year's division contest evaluation finalist who attends clubs virtually across the globe and a great mentor to buddy Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters. Due to her busy schedule, she visits club to de-stress herself. Speaker would be presenting level 2 project 3 from the pathway engaging humor. Her speech title is Seek Them to Find. Seek Them to Find. Toastmaster Deepa, over to you.
Good evening, everybody at Speech Weavers. I have a question for you. Can you raise your hand if you know the answer, if you would like to answer that? Who is a mentor?
Who can guide in a right way, right direction?
Okay, what about Bidu? What do you have to say?
For me, it's you.
Okay.
For me, it's Bidu.
And distinguished Toastmaster Milind?
One who can handhold the mentee as and when needed.
Okay. A mentor is somebody who empowers us to see a possible future and also makes us reach there. All right, I have another question for the ones who didn't bite the first one. What's the difference between a mentor and a coach?
Coach
Yes, Shanti?
doesn't need to be on field. He just enables you to think why you need to do it, right? What is your goal? He reminds of your goal and makes you to keep pace on to get into the goal, attain the goal. Your mentor is somebody who can guide you with the way he was doing it and enabling you by giving the steps how to do things.
You sort of there. I'll bring in more clarity to what Shanti was about to say. So coach is I'll make it really, really simple. A coach cannot usually be a mentor, but a mentor can be a coach. In other words, a mentor is somebody who helps you, guides you to acquire a wide range of skills, supports you, guides you. A coach is somebody who specifically trains you on a very narrow set of skills. All right, now, we all have mentors in our lives, right? Everybody, parents, we have our friends, probably a colleague, a book. Yeah, even a book can be a mentor. Sometimes when you're down in the dumps and we pick up an inspiring, optimistic, energy producing book, we're there, we're ready to face the world. That could be a mentor. Sometimes even we could be a mentor to ourselves. Yeah, just by being kind to ourselves, by not beating ourselves every time we fall down. Now, in Toastmasters, there are two different tracks that we develop. One is our leadership skills and the other is communication skills. And when I joined Toastmasters 4 years ago, I was assigned mentor. And they did what they did. They used to ask me for my speech script, review it, give me suggestions, help me find pathways, help me find answers when I had questions, all of that. But I was seeking for more. I didn't know what it was, but I was searching for it. And then I saw Toastmaster Srinu Babu right there in my club. I used to see and marvel at him. For those who don't know Srinu Babu, he's somebody who can make even Shashi Tharoor sign up for Toastmasters. He's genius at getting memberships. He knows the way to people's heart and get them to the club. So here I saw him every level interacting with people across the district, and I wanted to be like him. I asked him, Srinu, could you be my leadership mentor? And he said, why not? I'd love to, Deepa. And then started the process. The first thing he did was he asked me a question, just like I asked you a question. He said, Deepa, I see you've been taking up only VP PR role. Why have you taken it 3 times? Why don't you look for other roles? I said, Srinu, I want to perfect it. And I think I can add more value to it. I'm kind of good at it. And then he said, Deepa, you're here to improve. Push yourself out from the comfort zone. I'm telling you, I see a lot of potential in you. You got to explore and take the next step. And he made me take up VP education. Then he pushed me to take up presidency. And then I pushed myself to take up area PR and then division PR. So I have a whole lot of leadership positions because somebody out here encouraged me, saw something in me, and told me you can go forward. And he's also somebody who always taught me how to negotiate when there is a conflict, and he also showed me how to convince people, how to be persuasive. And I value so many qualities of this mentor. And this is my leadership mentor to all of you. Now, coming to my virtual mentor. Yes, I've not met this person in real life. And when this all began when the pandemic stuck, when the world stopped believing that we can learn public speaking. And here I was, met a person on the official Toastmasters Facebook group. I invited him over to our club because I came to know that he is the World Championship of Public Speaking semi-finalist. None other than Toastmaster Furzy Gotuoku. I think most of you know him already. When I invited him to the club, he gave a fantastic workshop, mind-blowing. I knew instantly this person was a treasure trove of knowledge. I wanted to learn a lot from him. But nothing happened. 1 year passed by, minimal contact. Then in 2021, our paths crossed again. And this time, I asked him, Furzy, can you be my mentor? And he accepted. What a lucky find. Let me tell you, this was a person who really transformed me in terms of communication. Here I was at the Table Topics Club contest, and he pushed me to, he identified rather the areas where I was already good at and where I could push myself. In fact, he noticed there was a Zoom call where we had, and he gave me topics one after another, and I would just stop midway. Stop there. You know, I was giving the topic and stop there because I was so conscious that I was not getting it right. And he identified that I was judging myself as I was speaking. And so he said, Deepa, don't judge yourself in the middle of a speech. Keep going on. Whatever you want to speak, you have your voice, you have to express it. That was one. And the other one was, he gave me 10 topics every day when the contest was running. And he said, record speeches for me and I'll send you personalized feedback for you. And these evaluations, how much ever virtual they were, helped me improve my vocal variety in 5 to 7 ways that I never thought would be possible. And then there were other contests when he personally came to the contest and he knew I was very nervous, and he said, and I was like fidgeting in front of the screen, and he said, Deepa, take a deep breath. Know how good you are. Realize how smart you are. You're good. Feel smart and feel beautiful. I mean, with those kind of words, how could you remain poker faced, right? And I was here ready to face down any challenges I had in the contest. This is my communication mentor, Toastmaster Furzy Gotuoku. Friends, they say there's no shortcut to success in life, but I'd like to disagree. If you find the right mentor, somebody who believes in you, you can find that shortcut to success. Do you agree with me? Over to the Toastmaster of the day, Sushma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. It was indeed a wonderful speech. I would say more than that. It was an inspiring speech. And you have marvelous, like telling us how we can build our relationship with mentor and how we can benefit from taking their inputs from our mentor. Now, it's time to interesting session and an impromptu session, that is just table topics. Now we have reached the most entertaining session of the day, which is table topic session. To conduct this session, may I call upon Toastmaster Adarsh, who is our table topics master of the day. Table topics master, he was an excellent. Please help me welcoming table topics master for the day with a big round of applause. Over to you, Toastmaster Adarsh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Sushma, for having introduced me in a decent fashion. I am going to be playing the role of a table topic master today. And the job of a table topic master is actually a bit interesting when you think about it. So my job is going to be to provide you topics that are impromptu in nature, topics that are going to test you. They're going to put your skills to test. So your job is to talk for 1 to 2 minutes, and you'll have your timer who'll display the cards to remind you when you're supposed to start and when you're supposed to stop. You'll highlight when you reach the minimum amount of time and when you reach the maximum amount of time. So my job as the table topic master, as I said, will be to provide you topics today. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Please don't be a poker face. Step up and take up a table topic. And for my first table topic, that I think I'm going to look for a few people within the audience right now. I would like to call upon Toastmaster Parvati. Toastmaster Parvati, are you ready to take up a topic today?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Parvati. So this is your topic for today. Your topic is, what is the one superpower that you hold that everyone must fear? Let me repeat. What is that one superpower that you hold that everyone must fear? Over to you, Toastmaster Parvati.
Thank you, Table Topics Master Adarsh. So I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm pretty good at striking a conversation with anybody, irrespective of their age or what background they come from. And I think people should fear that. But that being said, that does not mean that I would want them to feel me as an intimidating person, but rather, feel good that they can feel comfortable around me. So, and why do I say this? It's not something they should fear, rather they should feel inspired. And on that note, I'd like to share a personal comment that I received from a friend of mine who said that she's not a friend exactly, an acquaintance with whom I had a high-by kind of relationship back in college. And she told me one day that you make me feel really comfortable in your presence. And that's the best thing I've heard so far. It's not the superficial comments that you receive, but rather something that reflects on your personality. And if I were to say one thing that everybody should not fear, but learn, is to be yourself and just be yourself when you're striking a conversation with anybody. And you can build a lot of relationships without even, practicing for it or preparing for it. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Parvati, for such an amazing speech. In short, what Parvati means is, don't be a poker face. Step up, show yourself to the entire world, and make sure to provide a thumbs up every time when someone uses the word of the day. That's something that I've got to mention in my intro as the table topics master. Now, moving forward, I would like to call upon, I'd like to call upon Toastmaster Shubhranjali. Toastmaster Shubhranjali, she told me that she was sick earlier today, but I'm not sure if she can take up this table topic. Toastmaster Shubhranjali, are you ready for it?
Yes, now I'm ready. I have to be ready.
All right, Toastmaster Shubhranjali, this is your topic for today. Your topic is, you're enough just as you are. So it's an old proverb that I happened to come across earlier today, and I decided to pose it to one of you today. The quote is, you are enough just as you are. Is it a statement that you agree with, Toastmaster Shubhranjali?
If you would have asked me the same statement a few years ago, I would have felt self-conscious about it. Because I have been the person in the past who used to believe in pleasing everyone, to be at my best. As I grew up, I realized that you need to please yourself first. Then only you can become friends with others. Thus, I'm affirmative of the statement currently that you are enough just as you are. As a fellow Toastmaster just mentioned in her speech, that be yourself. Even I agree, you should be yourself. Then only you can live freely. Otherwise, you will be always caring about what others think about me. And you might be wondering that I might be worried about what others are thinking about me just now, here in the audience when I'm thinking these words. Well, I care less about that. Because I'm voicing out my opinions freely. And that matters most to me at the end of the day. To quote a personal anecdote, last week I had an altercation with one of my EC members. I did feel bad, but at the end of the day, I was also feeling relaxed that I let out my negative emotions rather than giving him false hope that I am pleased with his work. Thus, you are enough as you are. Don't avoid conflicts for a reason that you need to please the other person. You are already enough. Embrace your flaws and you are flawsome. That's all from my side. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shubhranjali, on such an amazing speech on conflicts. All of us face conflicts every day, but I happen to have someone in this room that just raised his hand. He is none other than Toastmaster Prateek. Toastmaster Prateek is joining us from Salt Lake Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Prateek, here's your topic. Are you ready for it?
Yes.
So your topic is the biggest difficulty. So there is a quote from Maya Angelou herself. The quote goes, the biggest difficulty is to overcome how you think about yourself. Let me repeat, the biggest difficulty is to overcome how you think about yourself. Is this a statement that you agree with, Toastmaster Prateek?
I fully agree with this statement that the biggest difficulty that what we think is how to overcome ourselves. Because at the end of the day, we keep on speaking to our minds. We keep on having internal dialogue. That's what I'm doing. Am I doing right? Like the meritorious speakers just before me said, that we do not need to seek validations from others. We need to ensure that whatever we are doing, we get out of our head. Instead of getting all the acknowledgement and all the approval from the others, why can't we think and be open to the fact that whatever happens, if I succeed, then it's all fine. But if I fail, I learn. With this mentality, especially in Toastmasters world, where people help each other, where people see the vulnerability in one another. We also listen to the speech of Toastmaster Deepa, where she talked about her struggles and how the Toastmasters fraternity has helped her to overcome this. So if all the inner dialogues, if we keep on happening, that yes, what am I doing? What I am not doing? If we get too much engrossed in that, then somewhere we get tied up. So the fact is we need to focus away from our internal dialogue, that let's be clear with our actions that we are taking. Let's not get too much into our internal battles, that why we are getting judged so much by the others. Let's be open-minded to accept whatever the failures that come in our way, accept whatever the challenges that come in my way, and do it without having too much of thought in my mind. With this, I leave it to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Prateek. Whatever comes your way, you better deal with it. That's something that my dad told me when I was a child, and I'm following it even to this day, every time when things get very difficult. And that's something that you clearly put across as part of your table topic for today. But now I'm going to move to the other side of the fence, and I'm going to welcome our guests. I'm going to open the table topic session for our lovely guests. We happen to have Atul in the room. Atul is a non-Toastmaster, by the way. He just told me about it on the chat. Atul, would you like to give this a try? I have a very simple topic for you. Atul, are you there? All right, then I think Atul is unable to unmute himself, but you'll get back to him later on.
Hello.
Oh, yes, he's here. Yes, Atul, you're very much audible. We'd like to take up a topic right now.
Oh, can I do that later? Because.
All right, then that sounds good. I'll move to the next guest. We have guest Vijaya Sharma. Vijaya Sharma, Vijaya, would you like to take it up?
Okay.
Yes, then we have Vijaya here. So this will be your topic. I have a very simple topic for you. It goes, again, it's another quote that I happened to find on the internet earlier today. It goes, your appearance can be a weapon, sometimes as powerful as any knife or gun. Let me repeat, your appearance can be a weapon, sometimes as powerful as any knife or gun. Do you agree with that statement, Vijaya? The stage is yours.
Okay. So hello, fellow Toastmasters guest, and thank you, Table Topic Master, for giving this very new topic. And I'm coming to Toastmaster meeting after a lapse of time. So yeah, it's a very interesting thought to start with. Because appearances, when I hear a word called appearance, it's more about impression, the first impression. And we all may have heard that first impression makes a lot of difference. Though now those kind of thoughts are taking a backseat because it's very judgmental of a person to just start thinking about someone as they perceive him or her or them as a first impression, what they are wearing, how they look. But we cannot really deny the fact that if there is someone very well dressed in front of you and someone who doesn't look that up to date or crisp, clumsily dressed up, you immediately form certain thoughts in your mind that, okay, I may go to a person who is looking crisp and up to date than in comparison to someone else who is not. Similarly, nowadays, it's in vogue of having theme parties. So we go dressed up in certain dress up, and if you are the odd one out, some people carry it off well, and they come across as more confident than the others because they dare to challenge the status quo. And yeah, so my idea is appearances do make all the difference, but let's not make that limit your perseverance or your perception about some other person. It's better to give them a little bit of time and understand. So appearances good to have, but understanding a person is must have. So yeah, that's pretty much over to you, Table Topic Master. Thank you. This is Vijaya.
Thank you very much, Vijaya. You know, as they say, appearances can be deceptive. I actually lied when I told you that the table topic was going to be easy. The table topic was actually difficult, but you masterfully maneuvered through the topic and you managed to provide a wonderful answer. I'd like to commend you on that. Now, there are two people in this room that are very, very important. There is one who's an area director, and the other one happens to be a division director. I would like to acknowledge their presence in today's meeting room, but I can only pick one of them at present. I'm going to go for our division director, who recently became a distinguished Toastmaster herself. She is Distinguished Toastmaster Sehrish. Sehrish, we'd like to take up a topic today.
Yes, of course. None of the Toastmasters will say no to this, but yeah.
Yes, you're very much right when you say that. Your topic is, why should one not neglect their appearance? Let me repeat, why should one not neglect their appearance? That is your topic. That is your topic, Distinguished Toastmaster Sehrish. Stage is yours.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it's well said that you are a powerful person if your presence or your absence increases someone's heartbeat, right? And your presence doesn't only mean that you are present in that room. Your presence is the aura which you create with your appearance. And as Vijay rightly said, your appearance is not just how you carry yourself, but it also reflects in the fact what kind of company you keep. How do you dress? How do you speak? How do you treat people? Everything all together. And our TTM rightly said appearances are deceptive. I truly agree to that point. And then coming to the topic, which is how you should not neglect your appearance, I would say we always live a life full of fake truths, right? We always want to impress people. We always want to maybe pump up someone's ego by flattering them, by looking the way others want us to see. But let me tell you one thing. When you every day get up and look at yourself at the mirror and admire yourself with a smile, it's really hard to keep any negativity in your mind, because only you know your worth. And hence, it is very important that we don't try to fit into someone else's frame, but we do acknowledge our own presence, our own life, our own appearances. And by appearance, again, I would say, though they are deceptive, but it is completely up to you how you make your appearance or your presence felt. Over to you, TTM.
Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Serish. But I just got an alert from the timers saying that the table topics are over. It is one card that we actually invented at our club, and we look forward to using it more often than not. On that note, yes, I had a wonderful time playing the role of a table topics master, and congratulations to all of them that happened to use the word of the day. But for the ones that didn't use it, I'm not sure if you still have the time, but maybe you can use it probably at home. Thank you very much for stepping up to take your table topics today. On that note, I'd like to hand it back to our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Sushma.
Thank you, Toastmaster Adarsh. What an excellent, entertaining, and enticing table topic session. Please give a big round of applause to the table topic master, Toastmaster Adarsh, for dishing superb session. And I would say you have made comfortable all our guests by giving very good topics. And for each and a round of applause to each and every table topics speaker for coming with such dazzling speeches. Now, we have come to the end of the session. Before I turn over to our president, now I would like to show one easy and one very effective face yoga exercise. Would you all like to do
Sushma,
with me?
before that, could you turn on your video so we could see that exercise?
I'm so sorry for that. Would you all do with me? This is very simple exercise which will relieve all your stress. We carry stress. When we carry stress, it not only enters in our body, it shows on our face also. This you can do several times in a day. Trust me, you can delay age. You can delay aging process. Now I just explain you. You need to tighten all your facial muscles. Tight. Maybe keep it for 5 seconds, then slowly release. Then you feel wonderful you feel. Can you do with me? Just 5 seconds. Isn't it wonderful? Are you not feeling good after? Yes. Now we move on to the all important evaluation session. I now call upon our general evaluator, Toastmaster Bidu, for the day to take over. Toastmaster Bidu, over to you.
Thank you, Toastmasters of the day, Sushma. I would like to begin the evaluation session by inviting the prepared speech evaluators first. I would like to invite Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Shubhadeep, for the evaluation of the target speaker. Toastmaster Shubhadeep.
Vidhu, I'm not the evaluator for the first speaker. I'm the evaluator for Toastmaster Joseph.
Okay, so the evaluator for the first speaker, I guess, is
first speaker is Pratik.
Mayur.
No.
Okay, Toastmaster Mayur, you want to come first?
Yeah, Shanti delivered first speech, so I think I can give the evaluation of her speech.
Yeah, you can go ahead. Toastmasters Mayur, please.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bidu. Good evening once again, everyone. So the speech Shanti delivered repetitive. She gave her repeat speech on evaluation and feedback, and I think she started very well in structurally, and while if I just want to skip first 30-40 seconds of her speech, and then she when started her speech, I was able to connect that with that speech, and in between she gave some example of Ram and how not to create your speech and craft your speech, and how to avoid unwanted branches in your speech. And that analogy, I liked it very much, that you have applied your given feedback in this speech, and I found it very good. And in third statement of yours, while giving your example how you can conclude your speech, how you can avoid your more bullies, and those kind of things I enjoyed in your speech very much. And how you can craft your speech by giving the context and sequence to your speech one by one. And the few recommendation I would like to give you, that while starting your speech, the best way is to first listen. Whenever you start your speech, then that time you were like jumping on the speech when I just ended my giving my uh, purpose of your speech. So that time Sushma has to come and give you the introduction and give you the speech title as well. So that's the way to start your speech. And while giving your speech, in the starting I was not able to see your hand gestures, but after some time I was able to see some hand gestures of yours, so that you can improve a lot. And sometimes you have to slow down on certain things so people will catch up with your speech. In the start, as I told you earlier, that in the 30-40 second of your speech I was not able to grasp anything, and I was me or many of the member were felt like poker face. So that we can improve, you can improve. And so in the after your half of the speech, it was excellent, I would say. So that time you were able to connect with the members, and I can see that members was also able to grasp your speech. It was a great descriptive speech, I would say. You can avoid your back and forth going from the camera again. Sometime like if you can see my hand, you were doing this like this. So stay in on one spot during the camera, in the online environment, especially because we get limited space in this screen. So if you if you go back and forth or left or right a lot of time, so it will distract us. And uh, just use your hand gestures probably to get the good screen amount. And it was a good speech, and I hope you can deliver better speech in your upcoming speeches. All the best for your upcoming speeches. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmasters Mayur. I would reserve my comments for the last, and I would now move on to our second evaluator, Toastmaster Shubhadeep, for evaluation of the target speaker. Over to you, Toastmaster Shubhadeep.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vidhu. So one motto by Joseph Benedict. The speech today was loaded with a lot of information. Information on the sector, his vision to create a mass organization with a massive 200 CR investment. And he also talked about worker law, safety, ensuring delivery, and finally, the conclusion that he made, and not with a poker face. So all in all, the speech was filled with lots and lots of information. Now, one major thing that we missed on the project today was this project also required how the person was involved in the team building activity as well. Because if I look into the objective for this specific speech, we wanted to understand how this person evolved while building a team. So that part we couldn't find in this specific speech. But all in all, like I mentioned, the speech was definitely with a lot of information. It was informative, and we could see the intent, and we also were able to learn a lot of things, definitely, from the speech. But with the slight bit of recommendation that I shared, which was respective to this objective of the speech, if that can be met,
we definitely look forward to that in your next speech, because this is the first one. So with that being said, over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shubhadeep. And finally, we move on to our evaluator 3 for the day, Toastmasters Pratik, for evaluation of his target speaker. Toastmasters Pratik.
Thanks a lot, General Evaluator. Bithu, just a quick check, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay. Mentors come in all situations and from all places. And if we can seek them and leverage it, we can overcome any difficulty. And today, our Toastmaster Deepa really embodied and manifested this saying. Good evening to all the fellow Toastmasters, and in particular to Toastmaster Deepa. The three things which I loved about your speech is, number one, you had a great opening. You started with a question, who is your mentor? What is the difference between a mentor and a coach? A quick way to grab the audience attentions, because the beginning of any speech is very important, and that you did it superbly. The second thing which I loved about your speech is that in your speech, there was knowledge and insight. Your speech was packed with a lot of wisdoms, where you said that even books can be mentors, our parents can be mentors, and how we can leverage that. So there were a lot of takeaway points and knowledge and insights from your particular session, for which I felt very valued. The third thing which I loved about your speech, and the most impressive part, is the storytelling. You had a superb style of storytelling where you were the protagonist and you talked about your struggles, the up and downs with the mentors and how they helped them. So superbly done, a great way to connect with the audience with your storytelling style. But let me be a tiny mentor for today in your speech to really make it more stimulating. And here are my 3 recommendations. Number 1, I felt that you could have used the stage architecture much better. 2 instances I'll give you. When you said your mentor pushed you, you could have leaned forward and told my mentors pushed me to take more roles. Use of structures, the stage architectures could have been done in that way. The second thing which I felt, which was lacking in your speech, is the use of the pauses. When you talked about, there was a humorous moment when you talked about Sasi Tharoor, he can make the Sasi Tharoor, your mentor can make the Sasi Tharoor sign up for Toastmasters. That was a funny moment, but there you could have given a pause so that the audience can really enjoy that particular feeling. My suggestion is to please use pause whenever you want, and wherever there is a particular statement, to really soak the audience into that particular statement. And the third thing which I felt which could have done in your speech is the conclusion. When the red light came, I felt that you hurried to conclusion very, very quickly. My suggestion will be to reiterate whatever you said, the anecdotes, the stories, reiterate them in a different word and tell your stories, because the one message that you want to convey, if you spend some time, that can be everlasting from your speech. Having said this, Toastmaster Deepa, your speech was super, with a great opening, knowledge and insights, and a great storytelling to connect. If you work on this stage architecture, pauses, and a better conclusion, your speech will surely be more stimulating. And thank you, Toastmaster Deepa, for really giving this stimulating speech, because I am for sure going to seek out more from my mentors to overcome my challenges. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmasters Pratik, for this elaborative evaluation. Now I'd like to invite the support system of my evaluation, which is a tag team. And to begin the tag team report, I would like to invite Toastmasters Anand, who is the timer, to give his timer report. Toastmasters Anand.
Sure. Thank you, G. Let me present my screen. I think I'm not able to share my screen. Can you help me with this?
Give us 1 second. We will make you the co-host if you want to share the screen.
Sure, I can share. All right. Okay. So here's the timer report. Okay. I think we started off at the right time, and I think there were a couple of speakers who did take extra time, additional time from the allotted time. So if you look at the bar graph here, not sure why my graphs are not really working the way I expected to. In fact, a moment back it was working, but if you look at it, we started, I think DTM Milind did take 2 minutes. DTM Joseph, extended time by a couple of minutes. Suraj took 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes. Sushma, I think she took a little bit extra from the allotted time. Bidu was fine with one minute. I timed myself just to make sure that I was just over 3 seconds. General Evaluator, you were within time. And coming back to the speakers, I think Deepa took 8 minutes. Shanti took 7 minutes 30 seconds, and Joseph took 5 minutes 45 seconds from the allotted time. And the evaluators were all within time, considering there is a grace period of 30 seconds. So, yeah. So overall, we were on time. Just a few speakers who did extend, which kind of impacted our overall meeting. That's all from my end. Thank you. Over to you, G.
Thank you so much, Toastmasters Anand. And now I move on to our grammarian, Toastmasters Priyanka, to share her report. Toastmasters Priyanka.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Bidu, the General Evaluator. Coming up with the grammarian report was very tough for today because I could find that the meeting and the language usage is so above expectations here at Speech Weavers. Truly, these are all the weavers of all the best speeches in the world, probably. Coming to the usage of the word of the day. The word of the day, poker face, was used by Sergeant at Arms. All the 3 speakers, Toastmaster Santi, Toastmaster Joseph, Toastmaster Deepa, the table topic master, Toastmaster Adarsh, and the evaluator, Toastmaster Mayur. Last but not the least, Toastmaster Bidu, the general evaluator, used it almost thrice right after I had given the introduction to my grammarian's role. Apart from that, obviously, I could not find any not so good usages, but there have been several good usages of the language in this meeting, some of which I would like to enlist. The table topic master, every topic that the table topic master gave was a very good usage of the English language. Your appearance can be a weapon. Appearances can be deceptive. Toastmaster of the day said something like exciting, entertaining, and enticing. The evaluator said something like stage architecture. I think I would be beating myself up as a grammarian if I have to find out good usages, because every single line that people have used in this meeting has been very overwhelming for me. That is all from the grammarian side. Over to Toastmaster Bidu for the General Evaluators report.
Thank you so much. Now we move on to our R counter report. And I was also playing the role of an R counter. So I just messaged in the chat box the R counter report. So for prepared speeches, Toastmaster Shanti had 2 R's, 0 M's, 2 you knows, which were crutch words, and there was no unnecessary pauses. Toastmaster Joseph was impeccable in his speech. There was no crutch words. Toastmasters Deepa, you had 2 R's and 1 and. For table topics, because it's an impromptu speech, I have not individually evaluated anyone, but some of the things that were spoken as crutch words were so, and And one special mention, Toastmaster Subranjali had 0 crutch words in her table topics. So this is my R counter report. And now I would like to invite my final member of the tag team, which is listener. So listener, Toastmaster Subranjali, I invite you to carry forward your role. Toastmaster Subranjali.
Thanks, General Evaluator again. Since Grammarian mentioned that we should not keep a poker face. We should have some expressions. So I will conduct this activity with some twist. I will ask some questions, and for answering, you have whoever has the answer first has to reply with emojis. You have to keep yourself muted first. Whoever has the answer to that question, in the chat box, just mention any of your favorite emoji. I will give that person the chance first to answer. So first of my question is, what did Toastmaster Shanti mention to avoid in storytelling? She mentioned two of the things. Who knows about that? Okay, I can't see any emoji.
You should ask the question what to do, that we will all remember.
Sorry?
You should ask what we should do while storytelling. I think everybody will, have emojis for sure.
Okay, then I'm changing the question. What should we do while storytelling? Okay, Division Director Sarish, can you see?
I think he said,
the
and correct me
expression?
if I'm really not phrasing you in the right manner or quoting you directly from your speech, just correct me, the speaker Shanti. But I guess you meant that we have to associate a character with every story, right? That's one thing which we have to do. That's the most important takeaway for me. And that's something which I remember. Apart from that, there were many other things which you asked to do. Keep pauses and have characters and associate it with a person, all those things. But the one which stood out for me was associating, like I said, a character with a person in mind while you are doing that storytelling action.
Okay, thank you, DTM Sarish. And that was kind, you can say, I don't know whether it was an appropriate answer or not. Test speaker one can only answer that, because I noted something contrast to that, that is to avoid unnecessary characters in storytelling.
Yeah, Shanti, maybe you can clear the air if I'm wrong. That's what I said.
Yeah, so what I was telling is that, you need to have a start of the story where you will be able to let others picturize the character, what you are trying to, present or visualize the character. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks to both of you for clearing this stuff. Next question is, what was the name of the communication mentor that Toastmaster Deepa mentioned in her speech? Emojis, please.
That every speech.
Yeah, Toastmaster Mayu, you were saying something?
I think every speech weaver member can answer this.
Can you?
I know the answer. I know the answer, but let other answers this question.
Okay. So anyone else want to take the chance?
Can you share the question again?
Yeah. What was the name of the communication mentor that Toastmaster Deepa mentioned in her speech?
Srinu.
Okay, I will just clear my question more. She mentioned about a virtual mentor.
Farsi.
Yeah, right, Toastmaster Anand. That was Toastmaster first. Okay, I couldn't get the surname of that person. So Toastmaster Deepa, if you can pronounce that, it would be better for all of us.
Yes, Anand was right. A fuzzy, it's like Jersey, fuzzy goat walk.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. Okay, now let's start with some facial yoga again. What was the first exercise that our Toastmaster of the day mentioned? Can anybody depict that?
Drinking water.
Yes, a bit of facial yoga would help that. Okay, Toastmaster Mayur is doing that already. Thank you. Next question is that a presiding officer mentioned beautiful lines for depicting about mother and father. One of the line which you would like to narrate, any one of you, while describing a mother and a father.
I can go. Mother brings the child to the world and father helps the child to get into the world, if I'm not wrong. I haven't paraphrased.
Yes, it was right. Thank you, Toastmaster Parvati. Okay, the last question is one of the recommendations that was given by Toastmaster Mayur to his target speaker during his
Stage
evaluation report. Who was there?
Stage management.
Yeah, that was me, Sarish. I think he used a beautiful phrase, stage architecture.
Yeah, right. Thanks everyone for participating and listening attentively. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Subranjali. Now I would move on to the overall feedback, and I need to keep it concise since we are overshooting our closer time, which in itself is a point of improvement. We should be responsible for others' time, and we should ideally have finished this meeting at 6:30. Now, moving on to the seeds of the meeting, I would appreciate the efforts of VP membership and the PR who created the meeting and put the word out and invited the guests. Today, we have 6 guests, out of which few are non-Toastmasters, which is a good indication of our reach. One point of improvement that I would highlight is we should coordinate well because there were few role takers who were unable to attend the session, and we should have ideally had few volunteers before the meeting could have started. Moving on to our Toastmasters of the day, Sushma. Sushma, your topic was really interesting and very relevant to the times that we live in. The advantage that you had while choosing this topic is that you were very specific. It was concentrated on the face. So people came here into this meeting with the excitement to learn something new. Apart from that, your session was very interactive. You involved all the members while you are doing this session, and your entire TMOD session was alive and vibrant. So kudos to you for performing this role to the best of your abilities. Coming to the prepared speeches, we had 3 prepared speeches today, which is always a good initiative. It is always better to have 3 speeches instead of 2, because this gives the stage for members to improve their communication skills. So kudos to President Toastmasters Joseph sir and VP membership Adarsh for filling all these 3 prepared speeches. I would like to highlight just one point about the speeches for the speakers, because the holistic evaluations has already been given to you by the evaluators. Coming to Toastmasters Shanti, Toastmaster Shanti was very impressed by the way you delivered your speech. You were standing, your body gestures to assist the tone of the speech were with you, and I was with you for the entire speech. It was so compelling. Moving on to Toastmasters Joseph, who was the second speaker. Toastmasters Joseph, you were impeccably dressed today, and you appear to be a very, very confident speaker. And our third speaker for the day, Toastmasters Deepa. First thing that I observed was there was a great contrast. Your green dress over a white background, it ensured the focus is totally on you. I like your beginning. It's how you involve the other people by asking a second question and directing it to the ones who did not answer the first. It actually created a greater engagement when you began your speech. Now, moving on to the evaluation section, the evaluators, each of the 3 evaluators did a tremendous job. Your evaluations for your target speakers are completely holistic, and I'm sure all the speakers got a few points where they can improve on when they come on next as prepared speakers. The next segment was table topics, which was taken by Toastmasters Adarsh. Toastmasters Adarsh, you are a very good host of a table topics. Your topics are always engaging, and you appear to be narrating the topics in a very, in terms of your body gestures, it is up there. You involve everyone and you inspire people to come on board and speak. Your additions when someone ends the speech gives a good closure to the topics as well. So which is a very, very good point for you. And hats off to the table topic speakers as well. table topics is always the first step of facing your fears in terms of public speaking. And every one of you were courageous to come on stage and deliver your speeches. You have really good talent. Now I move on to the evaluation section where I had a tag team, and Toastmasters Anand, who was the timer, I really appreciate that in the cards that you showed, there was a clock ticking as well. And we could literally see the time that is consumed by each speaker. The preparedness level of you is again very impeccable. The spreadsheets and the numbers that you show, someone has mentioned already in the chat box that they want to copy this spreadsheet, and I'm not very sure they can copy it. They have to ask you to prepare it. It's an Excel sheet and you cannot just copy it. So great work, Toastmasters Anand. Moving on to our grammarian, Toastmasters Priyanka. I like the word of the day, poker face, because it's a very interesting word, and I must say it's a very regularly used word also. So thank you for enlightening everyone how to use it and the meaning of the word. I would also appreciate you taking the effort to put the phrase and the word in the chat box, because when a new word comes, it is very difficult to recollect what the meaning was. So that step of putting the word in the chat box is a very good initiative from your end. Listener, Toastmaster Subranjali, you were great. You made it much more interactive. It was a humorous session as well. Finally, I would like to appreciate some people who were behind the scenes. Zoom Master, the meeting has been flawless from infrastructure point of view, and you were very agile in spotlighting when the timer changed the cards. So thank you for handling the back end of the meeting, and great work. So with this, I conclude my report and hand over the stage to our president.
Bidu, I think you have to hand over to the Toastmaster of the day. Am I audible?
Yes, Toastmaster of the day, you can take things forward.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bidu, for the elaborated, valuable evaluation. Now we have come to the end of the session. I would like to turn over this meeting to our club president, Toastmaster Joseph Felix Benedict. Over to you, Toastmaster Joseph, sir.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sushma. It's amazing when I see the Speech Weaver Club is blessed with talented speakers and talented evaluators and whatnot. Even the guests are speaking with. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the guests are speaking with their wisdom and all. So really, it is a wonderful session today. I thank every one of you, and the presence of area director and the district directors are also gives a amazing spirit to the people who are participating in every role. And secondly, I also thank all the guests who have participated in the table topics and given their wisdom in speaking the impromptu speech. So a lot to learn in the Speech Weavers Club, and it is really kudos to everyone who participated in this meeting and taken up the roles. I have some, in the meantime, I would ask the Zoom master to prepare for the vote of the votes for the speakers, as
Yes,
well as
sir.
the table topic speakers.
So the voting form is up there in the link. Feel free to cast your votes. Back to you, President.
So I will continue to speak to you all. I have some announcements to make. The next week meeting will be a linkers meeting. It is from the Overseas Club from Malaysia, Passion Advanced Club. And the meeting would be very interesting when you join the other countries' club during the linkers meeting. That's one thing. And we have in the last week, the keynote speaker, who is the previous regional director, Nagaraj Rao. He will be addressing the club on Toastmasters, so many other subjects on the Toastmaster, in other words. So these two are the important events that would take place. Also, I request all the Toastmasters to prepare for their contest, which is also ending the end of this month or the first week of next month it will be. So prepare yourself, catch hold of your members, mentors, and see that you come up with a very good results of your contest. And finally, I thank Toastmaster of the Day, especially for this yoga session. I started my yoga somewhere in the 80s as a therapeutic yoga. I started like a Ekalava without a guru. And then I stopped it. And then finally I again joined off late, I mean, a couple of years back. But that yoga is not as comfortable as Toastmaster Sushma explained. This is a comfortable yoga, but my yoga is different. And this pranayama, asanas, sadhanas, and Surya Namaskar, these are all very difficult. And still, I am able to, by God's grace, I am able to do everything and keep myself perfect. So yoga is one of the things that will always keep you perfect, no matter which yoga you are performing. That's more important to people who are growing, people you are, what you can say, sedentary, living a sedentary life. All these people can join in the yoga to pick up their good health, in other words.
Apologies, Mr. President. We have received around 11 votes, so I think I'm going to take the liberty of announcing the winners for today.
You can announce the rest.
I was
Sushma,
not able to vote.
So I've received around 11 votes. So I think
I was not able to vote.
I think that's probably a problem at your end. So you better fix that up. I've received around 11 votes.
No, Adarsh, it didn't allow me to. It was showing that it's been already responded.
Co-host doesn't have access to vote.
Oh, all right.
No.
Yes, the co-host doesn't. I believe.
No, we have a different Gmail account with the voting link, I guess, and the Zoom account.
Okay, then maybe today let's leave it to the others to decide the winners. All right. I have received a bunch of votes, so I'm just going to go ahead and announce the winners. So just keep your ears close to your screens. For the best supporting role taker, let me stop the. Yes, I'm going to stop accepting the responses. The best supporting role taker for today is the essay, DTM Milland. That was such an amazing showing, wasn't it? He just started with so much energy. The best role taker for today has been myself, Toastmaster Adarsh. Thank you very much for voting for me. The best speaker for today, I think this is the part where we actually start the drum roll, I believe. The best speaker for today was our speaker 3, Toastmaster Deepa. Toastmaster Deepa, congratulations on being the best speaker for today. For our best evaluator for today was the evaluator for speaker 3, Toastmaster Prateek. Toastmaster Prateek, congratulations on being the best evaluator today. Now, this is the part of the voting that gets very interesting. It's where things get very spicy. The best table topic speaker for today was, oh no, it's very split. I'm not able to see anything right now. Oh, it's actually split. It's split between DTM Sarish and Toastmaster Prateek. Congratulations to DTM Sarish and Toastmaster Prateek. You have won the table topics round for today. The best auxiliary role taker for today was our very own timer, Toastmaster Anand, who's joining us from Gabby's Toastmaster Club. That was a very concise but precise report. We really enjoyed it. Please share that format with us because we might need it for our upcoming session. On that note, I'd like to conclude our voting session. I'd like to hand it back to our president, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Adarsh. It is really amazing that many of them are really good speakers and evaluators, and they got their gifts given to them. Thank you so much for that one. Now it is time for me to adjourn the meeting. I will adjourn the meeting 6:51